What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Pepe could be giving us a green day for the first time in a while here today, and so I want to give you a quick update on what is going on, what we're seeing, why this is more bullish than you may realize, and much more. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. And don't forget, my friends, if you do want to start trading some Bitcoin, Solana, SWI, and many more cryptos on all the way up to 500x leverage, you can check out that BTCC link down below. Guys, if you do sign up specifically with my link, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits between $500 and $100,000. This means if you deposit, say, $3,000, they're going to give you $300 on the spot to start trading with. And whatever profit you make from that $300 is all yours, no strings attached. So if you want to withdraw it, reinvest it, you can do whatever you want with it. Again, it's all for you. So head down to that link down below if you do want to get access to that 10% bonus, because I do believe this is a fantastic platform. I've done a lot of trading on it myself. I do think you'll like it a lot. So feel free to check that out down below and let me know what you think. So before we start talking about what Pepe's price is doing right now, let's kind of just do a quick little recap of what's been going on the last few days and weeks and what we have been tracking. So of course, you all know that I am under the belief that Pepe could be positioning itself for a complete and beautiful move up towards, 36445 levels. I think seeing Pepe push another, what's that? I mean, what would that be to say 4241? Seeing Pepe push, another 50-60% makes a ton of sense to me. And I'm not talking about the top of the entire bull market. I'm just talking about my regional top, a place where I think that we could see Pepe's price go. So as a result of that, we've been tracking its progress to get up towards those levels for the last couple of weeks straight, basically every single day. Now, over the last few weeks, a couple things have developed. The first major thing that developed was the descending channel, in which we did very well in. I told you all, hey, descending channels have a history of breaking out. Don't be surprised if this bad boy does the same thing. We saw Pepe's price come back down and hit our buy zone 3 times. We did some purchasing down here. It broke up towards the upside. Once we saw Pepe's price break towards the upside, I told you, look, there's a 3-step verification that needs to happen in order for Pepe to confirm this breakout and open up that door up there. First step is, of course, backtesting and holding support on top of the descending channel as step 1. Step number 2 is clearing your most recent high within the channel. That is step number 2. Step number 3 is breaking the top side of the macro Fibonacci zone and, of course, then opening the door to the top side as step number 3. Pepe did all of those at once, came up, came back down. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, open the door to the upside. From that point forward, I said, listen, even if Pepe's price falls right now, it doesn't change the fact that the door is open. The bears might as well count their days, because the bulls are going to start trying to push this bad boy up towards 364 at some given point. Well, of course, the market started to pull back a little bit, leaving us in a bit of a weird spot where Pepe was actually outperforming the rest of the market the majority of that first big crash, but that second crash got to us and we did see the price get pulled back towards the downside. Now, in yesterday's video, I told you all, hey, what I want you to do is watch this green box very closely. If we can see the green box hold as support and the bull start stepping in here, that is a fantastic sign. Not to say, of course, that we'll just immediately do this, but overall that this pullback won't last that long and that we will see it bottom out, and then we will see, of course, Pepe's price start trying to work to the upside, maybe even next. Like, that could be the next move that we start seeing. And of course, that leads us into today, in which we are now seeing that green box holding as support, and we are getting some very, very bullish signs here, especially if this does continue. And so now that you have a bit of a recap, what I want to kind of focus and funnel into is what's happening now, why this is so important, and what you can start to expect next. And now I will warn you, some of the things that I may say in this video are going to get a little bit confusing, especially if you're a beginner. So I just want to let you know, if you're a beginner who is simply just trying to learn all this crypto stuff and just get better in general, or maybe you're advanced and you're just trying to add more tools to your toolbox, all that I want you to do is just stick around at the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing over in the Discord server, because from all of the shows, the lessons, the classes and live streams and courses and all the stuff that we're releasing on a daily basis, we have a community generating hundreds of percentages a day, every single day. I mean, you can go look, even on days like yesterday where the market was down, we had people bringing in 500% gains, 100% gains consistently over and over and over again. So again, if you're somebody who quite simply just wants to get better at this whole crypto thing, just stick around at the end of the video. So as I mentioned before, now that you have a good recap on what's going on, let's talk about what's happening now. So what we can see is that over the last 24 hours, Pepe's price pushed back into this green box exactly as we were talking about yesterday, and we are now seeing the bull stepping in exactly as we need them to. Matter of fact, if we go to the hourly charts, it's actually a really, really nice picture that's being painted. Every single time that Pepe was losing this battle, the bulls were losing this battle at the bottom side of the green box, look what happened. The bull stepped in here, pushed it up. The bull stepped in here, pushed it back up. Even when they lost it again, the bull stepped back in here and pushed it up, and are trying their absolute best right now to maintain, to break this, the top side of this green box. Now, overall, is this going to for sure be the moment in which we do see support hold and then Pepe starts doing that? I'm honestly not quite sure. You have to consider a couple things, that the 4-hour RSI for sure is overextended, and it did get back to its 50% threshold, but there is still all this room towards the downside. That is still a possibility. You look at something like the daily charts, you look at what's happening with the Bollinger Bands, we did bounce off that 20 simple moving average, but if that 20 simple moving average does get lost, we might want to start interacting with the bottom side of the Bollinger Bands, which could still pull the price to the downside. So what I'm not saying in today's video is that for sure the bottom is in, but that's not the goal that I have here. Remember, the goal isn't to try to just ultimately predict tops and bottoms. You're never really going to be able to successfully do that over a sustained period of time. My whole goal here is to see if our general long-term thesis is correct, in the sense that we're going to see Pepe's price try to find higher low support and use that higher low support to continue to the upside. So whether that's right here or whether that's down here, it doesn't particularly matter to me, because we did so many purchases way down here that what happens in this little move does not really matter all that much. So what I'm looking at right now for Pepe is, does the green box hold or not? One, like I said, the two things that I've kind of paid attention to are the fact that your 4-hour RSI and your daily Bollinger Bands are not fully reset, so that could leave room of opportunity to push a little bit lower. And the other thing that I am paying a little bit more of attention to as well is the fact that Pepe has a history of 3-wave correcting to the downside. What that does mean is that Pepe has a tendency to do things like this: 1, 2, and then a third wave towards the downside. And I'm not going to say for sure that that's going to happen. I'm just telling you, don't get too crazy right now just because we started to see a little bit of bullishness here. Don't just automatically assume that Pepe can't continue lower, because you don't want to get caught in that liquidity trap. Just be a little bit careful. But one way or another, even if its price is going to start pulling down, from a macro perspective, we are getting the bullish signs that I was hoping for. The biggest one that I was hoping for was to start seeing bullish divergence as Pepe's price did start working its way down here, and we started seeing that. Of course, what you can see here is, now that we have made this bounce, we have a verified bottom. And so what that tells me is I can start going from here, this bottom, to this bottom, then I can start going from this bottom to this bottom. Do you see how on the price we have a higher low, but on the RSI we have a lower low? That's called bullish divergence. And oftentimes what that means is that even though the price itself isn't correcting a ton, your indicators are cooling off very fast. And usually when you see things like that happen, it'll put you in a position in which you can start to see the price bounce upwards. Maybe not immediately, but the lower you get, the more momentum that you're going to start losing on those indicators, and then you'll be in a spot to where, you might only be right back here, but next thing you know, your RSI is nosedived into the oversold region, and then you start continuing upwards. This is one of the most important fundamental building blocks to being able to set higher highs and higher lows, in my opinion, and we are seeing it play out now here in this green box. And so because of that, I think that that's a great sign. I think it puts Pepe in a spot to where we could see it start to try to find some growth pretty soon, whether the bottom is now or whether it's the next move that we're going to make. Now, when we look at something like the 4-hour MACD, we're seeing a very similar picture being painted. As we are seeing the price pulling back towards the downside, we're now starting to see a little bit of loss of momentum here for this MACD, as we are seeing these light pink candles getting printed. And what this oftentimes will mean is that although again the price is falling, it's losing momentum to the downside very fast. And usually it's not very long before the bulls can ultimately step in and push the price higher. And so what I'm seeing here from Pepe are very bullish signs. I really like the interaction that we're having here at the green box. You guys know how freaking annoying this green box was whenever we were below it. So now that we're above it, we want to see it be just as annoying to the bears and make them fight, so that if the price does go down there, they don't have much room left to even, or energy left to push it further. We can find that higher low and continue, or we literally just continue from here. And so because of that, I really do like what we're seeing. I think these are very bullish signs, and I think it's going to open up the door so that when Pepe is ready, that it is going to be able to make a push upwards. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest that if the bottom is here, that we see Pepe try to make some quick move up towards the 3.3 to the 3.0 level, which could still be anywhere from 30 to 40% in gains. And so of course I will continue to update you as this does play out, but these are very bullish signs that we're getting from Pepe here, and I wanted to share them with you today. Now, as I mentioned before, if you're somebody who is quite simply just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, what I want you to do is I want you to join the Discord server. Now, in order to get access to the Discord server, you're going to have to go through the Patreon link, and it's the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper, either $17 a month or $5 a month. But what that's going to get you access to, I think, is extremely valuable. There's insights with Tyler, for example, which is where I post some of my buys and my sells and just moves and things that I'm thinking and things like that. And feel free to kind of just pause and read some of this stuff as I do go. We have exclusive live shows, the one like Crypto Vault live. This is a daily one, Monday through Friday, where we're going over just the market, what's happening, updating you on the news and more. We have technical analysis that goes out every day on all your favorite cryptos. We have daily fundamental analysis on the market itself. I've hired 2 teams of professional traders to post their buy and sell signals every day that they're trading. And guys, you got to think, these are people, entire teams of people who rely on trading in order to live, in order to eat, to pay their bills, right? So obviously there's a lot of pressure there, and they're professionals at this. So if you want to learn from people with that type of weight on their shoulders, you can go check that out down below. There are premium classes on things like a beginner's guide to XRP Ripple, the Bollinger Bands, the Fibonacci's, and much more, all of which you can access here. There's beginner's courses on things like leverage trading and technical analysis, and 3 more of these releasing over the next few weeks. Guys, these are 30 minutes long, 20-page presentations, cheat sheets, vocabulary sheets, everything you need in order to get started. And then, of course, there's Tips with Tyler, where, of course, I just give you random 2 to 3 minute long videos on just things that, of course, I think are beneficial. You can see it here, like setting up the Fibonacci's, taking profits, etc. Now, all in all of these things are contributing to build a community that is absolutely crushing. And as I showed you earlier, hundreds of percentages in gains every day. And look, I'm just going to scroll up, and you can pause at any given point and see the gains that they're printing, because this is just 2 days ago, all of these gains that we're seeing right here. And so if you, of course, do want to start learning all of these lessons, using these lessons to build your strategies and use that strategy to make a real profit in this world of crypto, all that I ask again down below is that you go check out that link. Okay, go check out the link to Patreon. It's the cost of a Netflix subscription or even more, but I'd be willing to say that it's more valuable than Netflix. So of course, go check it out down below. Let me know what you think, and don't forget, guys, we post 4, 5, 6, 7 videos here on the channel every single day. So if you have been enjoying them, please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel down below, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.